Oh yeah, ladies and gentlemen, it is fantasy football season. That means nothing else other than we have got for you here at the Catch the must start kickers for your fantasy football teams going into week 1 of the football season, baby. Here at the Catch, we break down every position. I mean quarterbacks, I mean running backs, I mean tight ends, receivers, defense, and the best human beings on the earth, the sexiest human beings on the earth, the kickers in the NFL, ladies and gentlemen. We have got to talk about these guys. I know some of you people out there are trying to delete them from your fantasy football leagues. Make that position not even a thing anymore. Well, let me tell you something. They make a difference for your teams, right? They can give serious competitive advantage. And that is why here at the Catch, we pay attention to them each week, giving you a competitive advantage by identifying certain players with massive legs and massive upside that are going to explode some points on your team. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are a veteran Catch Fam member, you know these videos get a little wild, right? But if not, if you are new to the Catch, get ready for a wild ride. It's going to be fun this season, baby. New kicker videos every week for y'all. And if you guys are not yet part of the Catch Fam, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Come on and join the Catch Fam. Best community in all of fantasy football. Best community on YouTube, man. We be out here at large. The Catch Fam is growing day by day. And wow, let me just say this too. Go ahead and join the Discord as well, because we are always chirping. We are always talking in there, whether it be about fantasy football, football in general, or food and movies, baby. We talk about it all, baby. And you know I love cheese. Here at the Catch, we know Steven loves himself some cheese, so we always got some cheese talk in there, some pizza talk as well. But in all seriousness, guys, let's get into it. Let's get into the first edition of the top 5 must-start kickers for your fantasy football teams going into week 1. And number 1, we can't even get into this without talking about the guy who got the bag, Mr. Justin Tucker himself. I mean, the Ravens, they identify it. Obviously, the kicker position gets paid before their quarterback, Lamar Jackson. That's why they gave the bag to Justin Tucker, right? Obviously. No. In all seriousness, they need to be paying Lamar Jackson pretty soon. But they gave the bag to Justin Tucker because they recognize him as one of the best, right? Well, he is one of the best. Number 3 last season, always a top 5 kicker, perennial across the board. He's one of those guys that just always is going to get drafted, typically in fantasy drafts. Very unique because not a lot of kickers get drafted on a consistent basis, right? But this guy going up against the Jets, I think the Ravens are going to absolutely destroy the New York Jets. And I do think Justin Tucker is going to reap a shit ton of benefit from that as well, man. And I love this matchup. And I think that, you're going to be able to grab Justin Tucker and hold him for a long time, basically all season. If you got Justin Tucker, outside of the bye week, right? Number 2, we're talking about the folktale himself, Mr. Nick Folk, the kicker with a leg a mile long, man. This guy has just got a beast for a cannon down low. You know what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen. This guy can really get it done. Number 2 on the rankings last year for the New England Patriots. This guy doesn't get drafted half the time I've been in mock drafts, right? It's because people don't know who he is. He's kind of a boring guy. Started his career off, wasn't too exciting, had a big time year last year. This guy was like a skill player. I remember we would go through weeks, we'd be chit-chatting with the Catch Fam, and they'd be like, holy shit, man, this Nick Folk guy is absolutely dominating for me. Well, I'll tell you why. It's because the Patriots, amongst all the teams in the league, they identify the kicker position to be very, very important because they know the value of getting points on every drive. They're not like the Los Angeles Chargers where they're going for it on 4th down like crazy amounts. No, they want points every time they get the ball. And that is why they use Nick Folk so much. And he's getting these double-digit performances at a high consistency. Going up against the Miami Dolphins, a division game, I think this is going to be a really good opportunity for you. And I think you get Nick Folk, he's going to have a big game against the Dolphins. And I think he's going to be a guy that is definitely going to be around on your team for a while, too. You might not have to drop him for a little bit. Number 3, we're talking about the guy who's number 1 in my heart. Daniel Carlson, and was number 1 in the fantasy football rankings last season. I tell you what, if I put a poll out there, who was the best kicker in all of football, right? Last season in fantasy, I doubt that many people would have gotten that right. But Daniel Carlson for the Raiders was the number 1 kicker last season for good reason. And this offense has gotten much better since last season. And they have new weapons, obviously, with Devontae there. But this offense is going to be much better with Josh McDaniels, I think. And it's just going to give him even more opportunity And the fact of the matter is this guy gets a lot of his points from being able to launch it from deep, man. This guy can get it from 50 very easily. Going up against the Los Angeles Chargers, that is exciting to me. When I hear a little bit of some AFC West showdown, I like to get a lot of action there, okay? I love to get action on that, especially with my kickers because I know a lot of points is coming. I think Daniel Carlson is going to be used a lot in this big-time rivalry matchup, and I definitely want to take shares of him, and I think he's going to be a guy that really just produces dividends all season long. Number 4, we're talking about the man with the cur after the butt, Harrison Butker, the kicker for my guy Patrick Mahomes. Harrison Butker has been a long-time Kansas City Chief, and he's been very good at the position for them for a while. Last season, he took a little bit of a dip, though, in his fantasy rankings. Outside the top 10, was a weird year for the Chiefs. Their offense obviously became a little bit less effective. Also did a little bit more fourth down stuff. I think this season is going to be different. I think they are going to be a little bit more traditional, right? With the loss of Tyreek Hill, their offense is going to, I think, become more efficient. And I think that's also going to lead to them maybe taking a little bit more of a New England Patriots approach and valuing points every single drive. And Harrison Butker has been known to kick it from deep all throughout his career. I absolutely love him this entire season, but I really love him against Kyler Murray, Mr. Running Man, the little dude who plays a lot of video games. He's kind of like myself, man. We're like the same height. He might be like a couple inches taller. I mean, I tell ladies, so I'm like, 5'8", but really 5'4", 5'5" on a good day. So Kyler Murray is very similar to me. I see a lot of myself in him. Long story short, it's going to be a high-scoring game. There's going to be points all over the place. Matt Prater, shout-out kicker for the Arizona Cardinals. I think he's going to be great too. But this is a game for sure where you want pieces, and I'll take some free, easy pieces at the kicker spot. Absolutely. Number 4, we're talking about the guy who's got ice in his veins. I mean, this dude, he might have more confidence than the quarterback on his football team. Who are we talking about? We're talking about Money Mac McPherson for the Cincinnati Bengals. This guy is an absolute legend, an absolute dog. This guy can get it done for the Cincinnati Bengals, and he can get it done for you and your fantasy football teams. Number 8 last season again, man. This guy was a beast. Came right out of college, absolutely shredded up the league at the kicker spot. I think this guy's going to be absolutely needed in this rivalry game against the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's going to be a gritty one. Don't think the offenses are going to put up a ton of points. It doesn't have the highest over-under as I'm looking at it right now. Definitely not like the Kansas City Chiefs. Arizona Cardinals game, which has the highest over-under on week 1, right? So this is going to be a fun one for sure because we're going to see some nice rivalry, nice gritty football, but it's not going to be a big point burner in my opinion. I think the kickers are going to be well needed. Shout out Chris Boswell and the Pittsburgh Steelers, the man, the myth, legend. I think he's going to have a good game too. Little shout out there if you guys are looking around in your leagues and you see Chris Boswell available, he might not be a bad snag as well, but I really like Money Mac because you get to tie him up to a guy like Joe Burrow for the rest of the season as well if you really need that, if you take that kind of approach. But I will recommend that you come back here for week 2 and week 3 and you stream the kicker spot if possible and that you land one of these absolute goats like a Nick Folk, right? Last but not least, we're outside the top 5, ladies and gentlemen. These videos go fast for sure, but we're talking about somebody that gets me a little crazy. I mean, he puts a little fire in my heart this week, right? He's like a crush that you got in high school, right? You see him walking down the street, see her walking down the street, a little bit of a crush, right? This is Jake Elliott for the Philadelphia Eagles. I think everybody's got a little bit of a crush on the Philadelphia Eagles right now, except for any Dallas Cowboys fans out there. But I tell you what, man, the Eagles were great last year for the kicker spot. I mean, Jake Elliott was a top 10 kicker last year. Not many people know about that, but he was number 9 last season. This season, I think he is going to be a bona fide badass. And we're going to space out the bad and the ass because I think it's that serious, right? And maybe add a couple exclamation points. This guy is so dang consistent at the kicker spot and going up against the Detroit Lions. I mean, the one thing about the Detroit Lions that you can always count on is the fact that Dan Campbell is going to have his guys playing to the last second, which is going to lead to high-scoring games. That offense on Detroit can put up some points. Absolutely. And that defense, they can for sure give up some points. Nothing's changed there, man. That defense still sucks out there. I know they bring over Aiden Hutchinson, who's an absolute dog as well. But let me tell you this right now. Jake Elliott can get it done with the best of them at the kicker spot. That offense is loaded up. Let A.J. Brown, let Jalen Hurts, let those guys absolutely cook. Dallas Goedert, let him get it done. And let Jake Elliott finish it off with his extra points or those field goals, man. And he's pretty dangerous in the 30 to 40 range as well. Him and Harrison Butker really get their bones in the 30 to 40 range, and I love it. With that said, guys, that has been the must-start kickers, the first must-start kickers video for your fantasy football teams going into week 1. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you love this video. I hope you got a lot out of this video for sure. Not just the fact that I'm wearing glasses that don't have prescription in them, just wearing them for style, right? Because I think glasses make me look more sophisticated, but I hope you got some value out of the kickers that I dropped here. Please leave me some comments in the bottom there. Let me know what you think about all these kickers. If you hate them, if you love them, I want to hear your thoughts. But I also want to hear, more importantly than that, I want to hear what kickers are on your own respective teams or leagues, and I'll give you a little bit of feedback there, let you know who to pick up, let you know who to drop, right? And that doesn't just stop at the kicker. Let me know about your quarterback, running back, wide receiver, defense too. Check out the defense video as well. And my boy Johnny, he'll be dropping every other position as well outside the defense and kicker. So you got to check those videos out as well, guys. And if you are not already a part of the Catch fam, make sure to become a member of the sub that button, man. Hit that sub button. Come on and join the Catch fam, guys. With that said, guys, that has been the must-start kickers for your fantasy football teams going into week 1. Remember, you saw it here first at the Catch.